Hey everyone, it's Jacob again, making another installment in these Samoan language lessons I'm making. Again, I hope these are useful. If they are, definitely let me know. Thumbs up, subscribe, like them, whatever it is, or let me know how I can make them better. And again, the point of me making these is, number one, I'm a Palangi. I don't speak Samoan natively, but I did learn it as an adult. And so I'm really trying to present these language lessons from someone who grew up speaking English. So that hopefully the language is a little bit more accessible for those of you that have grown up in a similar situation, but have a desire to learn the language. And that might be because you're of Samoan descent and you really want to be able to adopt the language and be able to converse a little bit more with your Samoan speaking family or friends. Or it might be because you're somebody else and you just want to visit the country, you're just interested in the language, or you've got family and friends, or you've at least got friends that are Samoan speakers and you're intrigued and you want to learn more. So that's the overall intent of me doing this. And like I said, I learned Samoan as an adult, serving as a missionary there when I was 19 and 20 years old. So anyway, today's lesson is on can, should, and must, and these are special verbs in Samoan. So basically today I'll try and give a brief overview. We'll talk about a little bit of a throwback to how do we construct sentences in Samoan using verbs. And then I'll show how we modify those sentence structures when we use can, should, and must in our sentences. And then what I try and do with every single one of these videos, I try and put something to try and help you put this into practice. Again, my thought is to learn this, you really just have to try using it. So I try and give you at least something to get started on. It's always good to, if you're doing this with a friend or if you've got a native Samoan speaker that you can kind of try this stuff out on. So hopefully you've got that in your corner. That being said, from an overview perspective, the Samoan word or can, or in Samoan mawhai, should, or in Samoan tatau, and must, in Samoan nabiao. In Samoan, they're special verbs, and they have kind of a tweak on the regular sentence structure, as I mentioned before. And basically, there's two premises that we're going to be going in this with, which is in Samoan, every single verb that you use has to have a tense marker. So somehow or another, you've got to convey what tense that verb is being stated in some way, shape, or form. And that's traditionally through a tense marker. But as we can see in this sentence structure we'll talk about, there's a way around that. But more or less, you need to know what the tense is of a verb when you're using it. So number two is the words can, should, and must, which are technically verbs. They are always, or at least typically, accompanied with other verbs, which again lends itself to this tweaked sentence structure, which I'll get into. So those are the two premises. Every verb needs a tense marker, or at least tense associated with it. And can, should, and must are verbs that pretty much are always accompanied with another verb. So with that being said, just a quick refresh on, hey, how do we use verbs, verb sentence structure in Samoan? So I've got three main ones up here. So the first one is using a verb with just a regular noun, not a pronoun, but just a regular noun. And that formula really goes tense marker plus verb plus noun. And if any of you are watching this and you're like, oh, what in the world is a tense marker? I've got other videos that kind of cover that and introduce these topics. So I'll try and put those little cards up in the corner, but if not, you can go to my page and you can find them there. But anyway, first sentence structure, pretty simple. It's tense marker plus verb plus noun. An example of that might be wa'alu litama. And that basically just means the boy has gone. Wa'alu is alu is the verb in this case, wa is the tense marker, and litama means the boy. With an emphatic pronoun, and again, look at the other videos, with an emphatic pronoun, it's the exact same sentence structure, but instead of the noun, you're just slotting in the emphatic pronoun. So in this example, I've got olo'otama mo'i tatou, olo'otama mo'i tatou. I'll slow that down one more time. Olo'otama mo'i tatou. So olo is the tense marker, and it's the present progressive tense. Tamamoi is the plural version of the verb tamoi, which means to run. And itato is the emphatic pronoun for us, all of us. And then finally, with descriptive pronouns, which has a slightly tweaked sentence structure, you go tense marker, descriptive pronoun plus verb. The tense marker and descriptive pronoun actually flip-flops with one particular tense. Again, you can look at the other video, but that's in the ete tense where that gets reversed. A couple examples might be sae moi, which translates to did you sleep? Or another one would be o te fia, and this is where I'm using the ete tense. So o te fia, o is the descriptive pronoun, te is the tense marker, fia is the verb, and so it translates to I am happy. So again, I've got longer videos on this, but this is just a quick refresh. So with can, should, and must, effectively what we're doing is we're combining, we're basically conveying the tense marker that we're going to associate with either can, should, or must, and connecting that to the helper verb with this word ona. That sounds really confusing. So generally the way that this is going to work is you're going to be able to slot in this, like for example, I've got mawhai ona. This is can plus ona. You could do tatao ona. You could do ao ona, but you're going to slot this mawhai ona kind of phrase right in front of the verb in any of the tense markers that we showed in the previous slide. So if you're using a noun, great, use the noun sentence structure, emphatic pronoun sentence structure, descriptive pronoun sentence structure. So generally that will always work. So some examples are using the descriptive pronouns. We can say ote mawhai ona tautala. So without can in front of there, we would just say ote tautala, which means I speak. If you wanted to say I can speak, you would say ote mawhai ona tautala. So I can talk. I guess that's how I wrote it here. Another example, I'll kind of just go through these. Satatau ona whaamangalo I tātou. So this translates to we should have forgiven. These are weird sentences. Sorry, it's late. I'm just coming up with stuff random in my head. Without the tatau ona in there, you could have said sa whaamangalo I tātou, which would have been we forgave. And then with tatau ona in front of there, sa tatau ona whaamangalo I tātou, it just means we should have forgiven. So you can, hopefully that's pretty clear, but basically what we're doing is we're saying we're connecting the tense marker with either mawhai, tatau, or ao, and then we're connecting that same tense to the helper verb using ona. So ona kind of translates that tense to the secondary verb, regardless of whatever the original tense marker was. So you can use ona with any of the other tense markers, but it kind of conveys that same, in this case, past tense to the secondary verb. So my third example here would be e ao no tu I lunga le tama. E ao no tu I lunga le tama. And I just realized in the slide, I didn't put the English translation, but I'll tell you here. This translates to the boy must stand up. So e ao ona is must, and it's a present tense. Tu ilunga means stand up. Ilunga is up. And then letama, again, is the boy. So again, if we didn't have aona in there, we could have just said, e tu ilunga letama, the boy stands up. But then when we put aona, e aona tu ilunga letama, the boy must stand up. It's almost like a command. There is some variation to these formulas that I just talked about here, and you don't have to do them, but you will hear them. And that's really when we're using descriptive pronouns. Descriptive pronouns, there's a lot of variability in terms of where they get placed in the sentence structure. So for example, you don't have to put the descriptive pronoun in front of the can, should, must verb. You could put it right in front of the helper verb as well. So in this case, we could say, ote mawhai ona tautala, which means, hey, I can speak. Or you could have said, e mawhai ona o tautala. I don't know of these sentences having any different meanings whatsoever. It's just a kind of a stylistic preference. So, ote mawhai ona tautala or e mawhai ona o tautala, they're about the same. I kind of think that the second one is probably more used for asking a question, but it doesn't have to be. Hopefully that's not too confusing. So for practice, I put down a bunch of just different vocab like I try and do. Some of these are repeats from other videos. And the idea is that you can do some back and forth Q&A with a partner, a friend, or whatever. Basically trying to combine these and using those sentence structures from above. So as an example, I've got a question, and I just realized this video is probably blocking some of this, but you can say, e mawhai ona e uso se pese. E mawhai ona e uso se pese, which means, can you sing a song? And then the partner could answer in a full sentence, either yes or no. The yes sentence might look, Ioi, e mawhai ona o uso se pese. Or they could say, leai, e le mawhai ona o uso se pese. So again, this will kind of build on previous videos, but you're just doing question and answer. You're either answering yes or no. If you answer yes, you flip the pronoun to the right kind of pronoun. So if they asked you, you answer I, and you can play around with the other pronouns if you like. And if you answer in the negative, you basically just negate the mawhai, ao, or tatao word. You don't negate the secondary verb. So kind of like just think about the ona kind of carrying that forward. So some examples I gave are about singing a song. You could talk about reading a book. E mawhai ona e whaitau se tusi. Iohe o te mawhai ona whaitau se tusi. That makes sense. So you can kind of go through. I tried to put some examples of things that might help you put together sentences. But what I always recommend, use words that you want to actually use. Don't necessarily stick with the vocab that I've gone with here. You can find tons of vocab in other places. There's online, there's Google Translate. Highly recommend getting a dictionary. So there's lots of different choices. Again, these are, I just kind of put them down based on whatever I'm thinking, so they may not be the best ones for you. But hopefully the sentence structure thing is helpful. You use these words, at least I've used them all the time, so it's very common. And it's just a slight tweak or a slight upgrade from the standard sort of verb sentence structure. So hopefully it's if you've seen the other videos, this just kind of levels up one more. Again, if you like this video, hit thumbs up, leave me a comment about what else would be helpful. As I've created more of these, there's definitely some ones I've got in mind that we could do, but if you know of one in particular that you don't want to do, leave a comment and I'll try and do that. All right, thanks everyone, appreciate it. Bye.